Hello, welcome to the Scale Modelling Cafe and welcome to part one of the new project, and it is this. Something a little bit unusual for me. This is the Airfix Vintage Classic De Havilland Beaver. I haven't built this kit before, even when I was young, and I haven't built any Airfix vintage kits at all, really. So this is going to be interesting. I thought what I'd do in this video is just outline what I've got planned for this. The aim of this is to end up with a model that looks closer to a new tool than a vintage classic. Right, let's open the box. I've got a few aftermarket things actually, just to spruce things up. So I'll go through that first, why not? Seeing they're on the top. The first one is I've got a masking set. These are latex masks, vinyl, not latex. Not normally a big fan of that. I'd much rather the tape type masks. However, this is all I could get. And I'm very grateful to Thunderbird Models for producing this. It's going to really help a lot actually, because I've got something a little bit in mind for the clear parts. So really the only aftermarket, I suppose, essentially, is the metallic Decals engine. This is the Pratt & Whitney Wasp Junior, which I don't know if the British, I say British, de Havilland is Canadian really, isn't it? But I don't know whether the British aeroplane had the Pratt & Whitney. I know the American version did, and that had a slightly bigger cowling, I'm led to believe. But either way, it's a very finely cast resin engine and should look great. So I've got that. I've got a decal sheet, more of that in a moment. And then we're straight into the plastic. This kit was moulded in 1971, or tooled I should say in 1971. It's actually a recent moulding. And to that end, it is festooned, one of my favourite words, in raised rivets and raised panel lines. What I'm aiming to do with this kit is completely remove all the surface detail. It's going to have a full rescribe and re-rivet job. Now the aeroplane itself had raised rivets. I don't have any raised rivets for this that are suitable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace those with recessed rivets, and it should look way better in scale than no rivets at all, frankly, and certainly way better than these clunky 1971 raised rivets. So please excuse the kind of lack of accuracy. I've done a video on rivets, a separate standalone chat video, so you can go and have a look at that for my sort of wheres and wherefores and my thoughts on that particular subject. But actually, for 51, 52 years old, I nearly dropped it then, the moulding is actually really nice. The cockpit detail is pretty much non-existent, as you would imagine. The seats look fine, a little bit clunky, but actually not a great deal is going to be seen in there. On the kit supplied decal sheet, there is no instrument panel decal, but actually I think I can forgive them, because I don't think you're going to be able to see the instrument panel anyway. So I might just paint that black and leave it. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that. I might add a few extra levers and things in the cockpit just to dress things up, but I'm not really going to do that much detailing inside, because you're not going to see that much. What I am going to do though is, so here are the clear parts. I don't know whether these are new tooled clear parts. Airfix sometimes in their vintage classic range, I'll just pop these on. Talking of clear parts, I look through clear parts myself. They sometimes retool them. Looking at this, I can't tell whether they have done or not. I'm not going to open the packet. But the clear parts are actually very thick. So the plan I have in mind is I am going to thin the inside of the recesses where the clear parts go. I'm then going to glue the clear parts in place. I may even thin the inside of some of the clear parts as well and polish them back to clarity. I'm then going to glue them in with super glue, black super glue. After that, when it's fully set up, I'm going to sand the fuselage sides and where the windows are and the doors. I'm going to sand it all flush and then polish it all back. What that will do will reduce the thickness of the clear parts and hopefully add that little bit of finesse that I'm looking for. It's going to be complicated around the top of the wing. Here's the top of the wing parts because there are these sort of bulges and things poking out the top. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to very carefully try and remove those, sort the clear parts out, and then glue them back in. That's the plan. This one in the middle, I might just leave that because I'll be able to sand, if I hold it here, sand this way and just leave that centre part there. But there are these two little nodules at the front of the front windows which are going to get in the way. So I might carefully remove those and then sand it all flush and then stick them back. That's going to be the plan for the windows. Doors are going to be closed. I could scratch build the doors, leave them open, scratch build all the interior. To be honest, that's not the aim of this model. I don't want to put all that extra work in. And I think because of the high wing over the doors, it's going to restrict viewing anyway. So I might as well just do the doors closed. That's the plan on that. There are lots of aerials and bits and pieces for this model. They're all going to get replaced with thin plastic card, stretch sprue, wire, and there's footsteps and all that gubbins going on as well. That's all going to be replaced by thin wire, and hopefully with the rescribing and the riveting, it's going to make everything, all that detail, make it all look really crisp. That's the aim. Right, the schemes then. I've got this extra decal sheet which I've managed to cut in half and then fold in half so it fits into the box, because it's actually a very big sheet. Now in here there are lots and lots of different options. The one I'm leaning towards at the moment is actually on the front, and it's this one. It's the South Vietnamese one, which means it's an American supplied aeroplane, which means it's got that bigger, slightly different cowling. But I'm not going to worry about that at all. It looks like actually on this that there's no bulge on the bottom and the exhaust arrangement is different. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more research. But I really like the camouflage scheme in that it's the tan and then the dark green, FS whatever it is, from the Southeast Asia camouflage. Let me just open it all out and I'll show you all the schemes that are in here, because it's long and distinguished, as someone once said. Right, here we go then. So there's a Czech one, which Czech, what am I talking about? Dutch one with lots of orange all over it. That's really nice. There's one from Taiwan. There's an American natural metal one, which is based in Germany. That's quite attractive. There's a Kenyan one, which is in also natural metal. They're all very attractive, frankly. Another one that I quite fancied the look of was this French one in Indochina. I do want to do a collection of French aeroplanes in Indochina, because they really did weather quite a lot. A lot of the, Bearcats, Corsairs, Hellcats, Spitfires, the weathering was insane. I've already done one Spitfire back in the day. So that's really nice. There's a Peruvian one with yellow gear legs, that's natural metal. There's an Austrian one, which is actually quite nice as well, all over dark green with some orange on it. The South Vietnam one, which I'm really leaning towards. A South Arabian one, which I really quite like the idea of, because obviously I'm out here in Saudi Arabia. It's a bit of a dull camouflage though, wrap around dark earth and green. And a bright yellow one, Australian, with skis on. and you do get that in the kit actually, skis and floats. So this set is really well worthwhile. I'm actually thinking about getting another one and building that straight from the box so you can do a comparison side by side. But at the moment, I'm really looking at the South Vietnamese Air Force. I do need to do a little bit of research on cowlings and things. I may just follow the kit instructions and, you know, whatever. Accuracy has never really bothered me too much if it looks okay. That's the plan. Right, just chuck all that down. Right, there we are. Relatively short video. So I hope you're going to get a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily inspiration, but I hope you're going to enjoy this next series of videos because it's a little bit something different for me. I tend to prefer state-of-the-art modern kits because I like an easy life. But for some reason, this subject really appeals to me. Taking a vintage kit, one that's older than me, and seeing whether I can get an end result that looks like a much more modern tooling with some basic modelling skills. So it's nice to be returning to Airfix. I built 2 Airfix kits when I first arrived in Saudi Arabia, or rather after COVID, and I could get home and bring some stuff back, some kits and supplies. That was the Chipmunk and the Buccaneer in 72nd scale. So it's nice to be going back to Airfix and nice to have a little bit of nostalgia. And this one, I'm sure the construction part of the video is going to be really interesting, I think, to see how I get on. There we are. Right, it just remains for me to start snipping stuff on the sprues and to get sanding. So thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next episode. So cheers, bye-bye.